The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 4 Hours of Epicness. Here we go. The movie starts off with Galadriel, who explains the background. At first, there were 20 rings in total, 3 for elves, 7 for dwarves, and 9 for seriously corrupted race of men who probably needed psychologists, and one to rule them all, find them, and bring them all in the darkness and find them. It originally belonged to some far-eyed dude Sauron, but then this Minnesota came in, marched his troops along with nice elf Elrond, who we'll see later on, to defeat Sauron, and he did, successfully taking the evil ring. He was supposed to throw it in Mount Doom in Mordor, but he's a man and men are corrupted. He decided not to throw the One Ring into the volcano, and he brought it home with him, losing it on the way home. The ring was later picked up by a creature we know as Gollum. A hobbit, Bilbo Baggins, stole the ring 500 years later, and Bilbo Baggins lived in the Hobbit hole of Baggin of the Shire in Hobbiton, Eriador, Middle-earth, which is where our story begins. It's Bilbo's lovely first birthday, and he throws a huge party then disappears in the middle of it, to the loser. Anyways, he had decided to leave his Hobbit hole and had planned on going to Rivendell, the place where Elrond chilled. He is caught by Gandalf, a wizard who tells him to leave the ring behind. So Bilbo's cousin, Frodo, who is way younger than him and lived with him, sees Gandalf. They talk about the ring and is overheard by Bilbo's gardener, Sam, so now both of them have to bring it to Rivendell and ask Elrond's opinion. They meet 2 more hobbits just before they leave, Merry and Pippin. They are hunted down by 9 ring wraiths. They barely escape and then they stop at Tanning Bree, where they meet Strider, who saves them by letting them crash in his room because the ring wraiths knew where the hobbits' room was and went there to murder them, and then they failed. So they are caught up by the ring wraiths, who then injured Frodo. Then Frodo is carried by Strider's hot-off girlfriend Arwen on horse to Elrond's place to heal. All of them reunite at Rivendell, and Elrond holds a council. It turns out that Strider's real name was Aragorn, and at the council was Gandalf, Frodo, Gimli, Legolas, Aragorn, and Boromir. Then Sam, Merry, and Pippin joined them. The 9 are sent on a quest to throw the One Ring into the fires of Mount Doom. They are the Fellowship of the Ring. So they set off and they make their first stop on screen, a bunch of random boaters. Then they hide under the boaters when a flock of treebane from Dellen fly past. Then they try to cross the pass of Caradhras, but they fail because Saruman, another wizard, magicked an avalanche. The Fellowship then finds another way to cross the Misty Mountains, which is to go through the mines of Moria. The Fellowship ends up getting a Balrog chasing after them when they were almost at the other side of the mountain. Gandalf takes the Balrog one-on-one, but just as he thought he won, the Balrog drags him down. Gandalf then tells the others to fly, fools, of which they did. They race out onto the other side of the Misty Mountains, then most of them break down about the ugly crying and all that. Anyways, they move on and run to Lost Lorien, where this elf lady Galadriel rules over the forest of her husband. The Fellowship stays for a while and catch the 4 elves up on their adventure. Then they leave later on 3 boats and a bunch of gifts and limbas. And then they make camp at Amon Hen, a place where chaos ensues. Boromir becomes ravioli, giving one Rioli, and harasses Frodo. The Fellowship is attacked by orcs. Merry and Pippin get hobbit-napped, Frodo and Sam go off to Mordor to destroy the ring, and Boromir gets killed. The end.